husband, kind of. He's a non-practicing Italian, the best kind. And I have to tell you, as an Asian woman, every time I've ever been like courted or approached by like a white guy, I've been on guard, okay? Because I had to make sure that he wasn't one of those
Vancouver comedian Julie Kim is, as we say in the show business, on a roll. She just wrapped a 40-show North American tour with Ronnie Chang, scored a coveted Just for Laughs gala show of her own in Montreal for the first time later this month. In between, she's here in Toronto to headline some gigs at Yuck Yucks this week and weekend to help plug her pal Simu Liu's Celebrity Hoops charity fundraiser. And we welcome the talented but clearly lazy Julie Kim to CP24 Breakfast. You really do need to start filling some time.
What should I do? Energy drinks?
I don't know.
Motivational coaching?
You can do a little farming, gardening in between.
Oh, that sounds way too chill. I would never do that.
Look, I got to ask you right off the top. Are you like me in that, you know, as a child of immigrants, right? Mm-hmm. That sort of peasant work ethic is drilled into you, but they also were, you know, a little hesitant about me getting into what I do for a living now. Mm-hmm. But, you know, without being like oppressive about it. What was it like for you growing up and then getting into this?
Yeah, definitely. I think I was raised, at least like with the subconscious message that like suffering is virtue, right? Like you see your parents doing it, they work so hard, they're telling you they're working so hard, so you internalize it. I have done a number of things actually as an adult, like, you know, career-wise. So entertainment, you know, came a little bit like, you know, later on after I you know, started off working on Bay Street and like doing a number of things and going to school. So yeah, I checked a few things off and then I went off and did fun stuff.
Smart.
So I'm okay.
So you got that part out of the way. When they weren't looking and paying attention,
that's right.
You went ahead and did the show.
When they were older and couldn't resist as much.
So the spring tour with Ronnie Chang, I mean, that must have, I can only imagine how much of a blast that must have been off and on stage, right?
Yes, it was super fun. Actually, it was from September until April. Yeah. It was supposed to be earlier and kind of for a shorter duration, and then there was this pandemic. Have you heard of it?
This little COVID.
So it was about 7.5 months across North America. Yeah. It was, for me, a game changer, and it really lifted my comedy to a next level. Ronnie and his team are amazing. So I had so much fun, but I learned so much. And here I am, like, doing more and trying to, you know, make more waves here in Canada.
That's I can imagine that must have been a real classroom for comedy. That's a long stretch, even for you know, road-tested, road-weary comics.
Yes, it was. But interestingly, like, so Ronnie works at The Daily Show, so he, you know, did weekends and long weekends, and that worked really well for me as well. I mean, there's a lot of traveling, a lot of COVID testing, but as you know, a parent of a small child who had started kindergarten, it was actually pretty ideal because I could be back most weekdays.
You were doing a lot of traveling.
Yeah, lots of points.
Oh boy, lots of points. So how did you hook up with Simu? And because you've done and are doing a lot of things with him, including this fundraiser for the CCYAA. So how does it all fit together, and where did you guys hook up?
Well, Canadian entertainment is kind of small, and also, you know, it's a wonderful time for Asian people in the media, not in real life, but in the media. So, you know, there's so much support. I actually, you know, I did a little bit of writing for Kim's Convenience. Never met Simu then, but he is also good friends with Ronnie Chang, who will be at the Celebrity Classic. So I think Ronnie, honestly, said a lot of really nice things about me, and then, you know, eventually I was connected with Simu, who asked me to write for him at the Junos, which was another amazing. So cool, I know, right? I can't even believe it. Like, pinch me. So, yeah, it's been a good time. And Simu's so talented, and he's such a supporter of other artists and like women and you know, Asian creatives as well. So we've just ended up in this amazing place where I'm so happy to be involved with the events of the next weekend, because they're for charity, right? With Jeremy Lin, and Ronnie Chang is going to be there, Hassan Minaj, lots of people who are way more famous than I am. So I'm really excited.
But you get to wave the flag just like he does. Proud Canadian. Oh, yeah. And I love that, you know?
Yeah.
It's always there.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I'm so proud to be Canadian, always have been. The flag itself has taken on a little bit of a different meaning lately with the, you know. Yeah. Anyways.
Gotcha.
But yes, super proud.
But again, this fundraiser is it's for the Canadian Chinese Youth Athletics Association, and that's on the weekend. Now, I got to talk about your JFL gala in Montreal. I mean, to get a gala, you know, that's an honor reserved for a very select few. Like, you're at a different level. Like, this is a notch up on the Pantheon now, right?
Thank you. Yeah, it hasn't quite set in yet. I'm really excited because I've been doing stand-up for over 10 years now. Yeah. First in Toronto, where I was born and raised, and now in Vancouver and all over North America. And it's just a really nice addition to this year to be part of this really prestigious festival. There's like people, I can't wait, like Joe Coy will be there, Chelsea Handler, Ronnie Chang has a gala. Yeah, I can't even believe it. I'm gonna faint as soon as I arrive.
So when are your Toronto gigs at Yuck Yucks again?
I'm headlining Yuck Yucks Toronto from July 7th to 9th. The 8th, the Friday night, we're doing a special comedy night related to the CCYA, CCYA, I said it right the first time. Event. So we've got some amazing Toronto-based comedians and special drop-ins too, like who knows?
Surprise, surprise.
I don't know actually. But
Drake and the Backstreet Boys, maybe.
No. It's possible.
Wouldn't it be awesome?
Drake and the Backstreet Boys are all going to do a 5-minute set.
Julie, it's just a pleasure to meet you. You're just a rocket ship, and I can't wait to see the things that continue to happen for you as you climb into the stars of comedy.
That's so nice. Thank you,
George.
It's
so great to have you on the show.
It's
Thanks.
a high for me to meet you, too. I've been watching you forever.
Well, forever's a long time, Julie. Ready, set, solve. Yeah, the world's largest Rubiks speed cubing competition since the pandemic takes place right here in the city, Thursday through Sunday. And ready to have your mind blown? Well, we've got a guest to do it here. To solve the Rubiks Cube in seconds, welcome Toronto's Bill Wang to CP24 Breakfast. Good to see you, Bill.
Good to see you.
Put it there, son. Watch those hands. Are they insured?
No, they should be. Yeah.
They should be. How did you get into cubing, or did Rubiks Cube discover you? Which way did it go?
Right, so I started cubing in 2010, so I was 12 years old, and the way I started, similar to many of my peers, one of my classmates brought the cube to school. He was able to do it, and I was fascinated that he was able to solve it relatively quickly. So I went to the store, got one myself, and quickly went on YouTube to find a tutorial.
Yeah, there wasn't that around when I discovered it in 1980 when it came out, and I was very frustrated. It's been 40 years now, right? This thing's been around. Is it as popular now as it was?
Yeah, I would say over the past 20 years, the popularity has surged again, just similar to how it was when it came out in the 70s and 80s. Mm-hmm. It's one of the best-selling toys of all time. And nowadays, it's featured on a lot of social media platforms and TV shows and movies.
And there's a lot of different variations too, right? There's ones that are much bigger with more faces.
Yeah, in our competitions, we have 3x3 cube, which is the one we have here, all the way up to 7x7 cube. So
7x7.
That's quite a bit bigger.
What's your fastest solve time on the basic cube?
Yeah, in a competition, my fastest time is under 5 seconds, 4.76.
Okay. Look, I don't have the beautiful mind that you do, but are there, advantages to beating the cube? Are there algorithms? I mean, is there a science to solving the cube?
Yeah, definitely. For myself, I've learned a lot of algorithms that help me with solving the cube and to make different steps a lot simpler. For the most basic method to solve it, if you were a beginner, you only have to memorize a couple of algorithms, so it's not entirely too time-consuming, and I think that anyone can learn it with enough time dedicated to it.
But just by chance, it's not going to happen. If you're just messing it up and thinking, I can do it, randomly?
Yeah, very difficult. Very difficult.
Is there chirping? Are there head games going on during competitions with other people that you're going up against?
I would say not too much. We're actually very friendly within the community where we want to see each other do well, and we're all quite good friends outside of the competition. Okay. So we all tend to hang out and
cool.
Not too much of that.
All right, yeah. Bill Wang, we're going to bring in Bill Coulter, and I'm all.
I was all set to chirp, so you
kind
of threw off my game, Bill.
I'm going to mess this cube up, right? Okay, while we do this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have a little competition between the Bills, Wang and Coulter. I am, sort of stirring this thing up, giving it a different look. Bill has not seen this. No. He would not have possibly known what's going on here. I'm going to. And Bill Coulter, here's what Bill. We're going to make it a little different. Bill will not be trying to solve a cube. He will be trying to open a cube. Here is a Rubik's Cube,
But Bill was
sealed
talking,
and shrink
Bill was
wrapped.
talking about muscle memory as being an important part of it. When I was a kid and I lost at a game, I would walk away with the board. So the rage is my muscle memory. So I'll see if I can.
Well,
put
these
that to
things,
play.
you know, this can frustrate anybody to try and open one of these. So we're going to put a clock in a second. Let me just do a little bit more here.
Bill
I haven't
doesn't
done
look impressed.
nearly enough mess up. And we're going to see
sure
who
you can
can
do it very
either
fast.
solve or open the Rubik's Cube faster. Bill Wang, Bill Coulter. Do we have a clock? I'm not going to let him see it until we get ready to go. All right, are we ready? In 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm okay with losing Bill. Did someone put extra glue on here? I'm really going at it from the wrong way.
Bravo! That was close. That was close. Oh, my goodness. That was impressive.
I attacked it from the wrong side.
I did the best I
learn.
could to mess it up. Bill Wang, we are
Thank you.
impressed and
But it
happy
came
to have
out,
you with
it came
us.
out fully done. Do I get a
It
prize?
did, that's right.
That's
So when are
close,
you
that was
competing,
close.
by the way?
Yeah, so our competition is this weekend, July 7th to 10th, in Toronto at the Westin Hotel and Conference Room.
People can come and watch.
I believe so, although there might be some limit due to some restrictions.
And maybe
but,
learn.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Bill, thanks very much. A proud Canadian and another proud Canadian. You did a good job. That was very
No, I
close.
did terrible. This
No,
guy gets
you
all the
tore it
money.
up. New in bookstores, on shelves, and online is the #1 New York Times bestselling author, Kathy Reichs' Cold Bones. Reichs returns with her 21st suspense novel featuring forensic anthropologist Temperance Brennan, who, after receiving a gruesome delivery, uncovers a series of even more grisly killings that eerily reenact some of her most shocking past cases. And we welcome the very prolific Kathy Reichs to CP24 Breakfast. Good morning
Good morning,
from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Beautiful place. Kathy, look, you have spent this incredible legacy career documenting and fictionalizing murder. You collect and connect the dots better than anybody. I visualize your office has like a giant murder book in one corner and then a cork board in the other with hundreds of pictures and maps and sketches stick pinned and spun together with a spider web of twine. Am I warm or cold?
Yeah, well, you're seeing my office behind me.
Oh, okay. It's very tidy.
There's no corkboard. I'm more an online kind of researcher and organizer. So I have my son is a writer, and he actually has a big whiteboard that he puts little 3x5 cards on, but I don't do that.
Yeah, I don't either. You know what? I was advised to do that once when I used to produce and put together like documentary length TV. I can't do it. Didn't work for me either. All right. I want to know, though, how you straddle these worlds of creative writing and real life forensics is what you do. And how different is it, writing a book versus working for TV in terms of production on a hit show like Bones that you worked with?
Oh, 3 different, as we would say in the writer's room, 3 different arenas or 3 different worlds to visit. When I'm writing a novel, I'm the classic alone at your keyboard, just me typing away. When I break a story for an episode for Bones, it's collective. You're in the writer's room and you brainstorm, at least when you break the story. And that's really fun. I enjoy that. Working in the forensic lab is completely different. There you're working with a team, and you never know what it's going to be. You might get a call in one day, and the next day you don't. I worked on a per case basis, and you never knew what to expect. So that was very, very exciting. I liked that a lot. I'm retired now. I'm not doing very much casework.
Well, in a real case, though, Kathy, I want to know physical evidence. It degrades, right? But what kind of story can old Bones tell? And can a case, a legal case, can it be won or lost in the lab?
Well, forensic science is a very powerful tool. It's come under scrutiny lately, and rightly so. So each discipline is really tightening up how it's practiced. But yes, it certainly can contribute to a case. It's not going to be the sole thing that contributes to a conviction. And there's not one person. It's a team. I work with, or Tempe in the books will work with a forensic dentist or a DNA specialist or a hair and fiber specialist or fire and explosion people. So it really is a team effort. And when you put that together, it can help to get a conviction.
Cold Bones is the new book. You ever think you're going to maybe just write some pure pablum and a saccharine, romance novel or a kid's book someday, just to cleanse the palate?
Yeah, I did do a young adult series. My son and I wrote the viral series, which is Temperance Brennan's 14-year-old great niece and her friends. So we did a young adult series of 6 books, but right now I'm committed by contract. I'm committed
I get it.
I'm working on the next Temperance Brennan book which will be out next year, called The Bone Hacker. But
Awesome.
right, focusing on cold bones. I'm going out on the road. I'll be in Toronto, and I hope to see a lot of my fans and readers up there.
Well, they'll be lined up. Kathy Reichs, it's such a pleasure and an honor to speak with you. Thanks so much for being you and writing what you do.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
What should have been a busy summer travel season with airplane delays and soaring gas prices has impacted many people's summers, and some cities and towns in Ontario are pulling out all the stops to get people to explore closer to home.
And Guelph Mayor Rob Guthrie joins us now live here on CP24 Breakfast to talk more about that. Mayor Guthrie, thanks for joining us here and talking about this, because there really is this push this year, whether it's from that sort of tax credit incentive from the province to sort of stay local, or just from other communities as you're recovering. So let's talk about Guelph. How's your community kind of recovering or sort of moving away from the pandemic, and what are you offering this summer?
Well, Guelph is, always doing quite well, so I'm pleased to announce that. But it is really important for people to understand, especially the tourism, the hospitality industry has been hit pretty hard. And so as we recover in Guelph and elsewhere across the province, it's important to try to stay local and to do our best and to help that industry. And so in Guelph, we're doing the See You in Guelph campaign, and that is where we're giving a $100 gift card to people that are at least staying 2 nights within our city to explore our city. They get to get that $100 gift card, and it's going really, really well. So I really encourage people to check it out and get this way.
Okay. Mayor Guthrie, let's talk about Guelph, because for people like me, I'm ashamed to say it, I've never been to Guelph. I think of it kind of as, okay, there's a University of Guelph there. So tell us what people can expect if they do decide to come to Guelph. What's there to offer?
Well, we have a lot of great stuff going on right now. We have an amazing patio program downtown. Our river is very popular to be not only walking around the trails, but to experience kayaking and canoeing. We have a great sort of beer travel bus that is going around the city for certain weekends coming up to our 5 different breweries. Our museum, of course, John Galt comes from Guelph. We have the John Galt Museum, and there's honestly so much more that Guelph has to offer. It's a beautiful, historic city that people love if you live here. And since you've never been before, if you come, I'll pick you up personally.
Okay, deal. Mayor Guthrie, time is ticking. I got to convince my husband now.
Okay, well, Mayor Cam Guthrie, by the way, it said Rob in the prompter. Your name is Cam, so we want to make sure we've gotten that right.
I have been called worse.
I'm sure as a politician you've been called significantly worse. I've been to the Sleeman Brewery. It may not surprise you, once or twice in my life. So I'm familiar with that. But, nature is a big part of Guelph as well, right? I mean, like Mike Schreiner is the MPP up there. There's a real green enthusiasm up there. Can you talk to us a bit about the sort of the natural nature options that are there? Because it's really abundant.
Yeah, thank you. And you know what? You're right. Our trail system, our natural heritage systems is actually something that still draws a lot of people to us as well. For instance, even just outside of Guelph at Guelph Lake, we have the Hillside Festival coming up, other festivals in our downtown too. But the trail system, people love walking it. They love biking it. We got lots of bike networks in the area as well. And so, yeah, it's something that people love to see, our historic buildings, but also explore nature as well.
Yeah, I love exploring nature. If you've got beer and bike paths, I am there. So, Mayor Cam Guthrie, you've convinced me. I'm driving up to Guelph this weekend. Thank you so much for joining us on the show to talk about what Guelph has to offer. Taking you up on that.
All right, we'll see you in Guelph.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Well, with so much uncertainty and confusion preparing for travel, a few minutes to make sure you have a plan B, or these days perhaps even a plan C, is crucial.
Yes, there are some things you can do to try to make your trip seamless as possible. So Richard Smart is president and CEO of the Tourism Industry Council of Ontario, and Richard joins us live now on CP24 Breakfast. Richard, good morning to you. Okay, so let's talk about what travelers can do to ease the pain of headaches when it comes to delays or issues with lost luggage. What is the first thing travelers need to do, especially during a time like this when things are kind of chaotic at the airports?
Yeah, good morning, Jen. Good morning, Nick. Good to be with you this morning. What's going on in the airports is clearly unacceptable to everyone, particularly travelers who are finding themselves challenged with the delays and the baggage issues in the airport. But TICO is Ontario's travel regulator. We oversee the consumer protection laws in the province. And our best advice to travelers actually comes down to planning. And it's planning and working with a registered travel agency in the province and a travel agent who goes through rigorous training to understand the consumer protection laws in the province. And with that travel agent and the expertise and the professionalism they can bring, hopefully they can help avoid some of the challenges that we're seeing in the airport. So it's really always important to work with a travel professional.
You know, Richard, that's a really interesting point, because I think, quite frankly, most people live such busy lives. Yeah. Everything is so chaotic right now that people don't generally take the time to sort of read the fine print. And I think at the same time right now, we're dealing with very jittery travelers. Maybe you've booked some travel, but you're seeing what's happening not only at airports here, but also internationally, whether it's in the US or even in Europe. And you're kind of wondering, you know what? Do I want to go through with this? Do I want to actually do this travel? What are your recommendations, or what are the options travelers may have if they decide, you know what, maybe this is not the year I want to sort of risk this and sort of risk the chaos and delays, etc. Are there ramifications or repercussions if I say put off a trip or just flat out cancel right now?
Yeah, Nick, you hit the nail on the head. Travel, unfortunately, has become much more complex as a result of the pandemic. It's not just getting through the first leg of your travel through the airports, but it's actually getting to destination, making sure you enjoy your experience there, and then the reverse, getting home safely. So again, if you're working with a registered travel agent, they can help plan and do that research. And some of the important tips that travelers ought to consider when they're traveling, probably first and foremost, is one, that they're dealing with a registered travel agency, and two, insurance is probably more important than ever before. Not just trip cancellation and trip interruption insurance, but medical insurance as well. Credit card insurance and company plans, might cover some of those incidences, but you really need to work with a travel professional to make sure that you're covered when you're traveling. And that you mentioned the fine print. Under the consumer protection laws in Ontario, a travel agent is required, obligated to explain and make sure that the traveler understands things like hidden fees, cancellation fees, recharge fees, rebooking fees. We have something called all-in pricing disclosure in the province. And an agent is obligated to ensure that the traveler understands all those rules, all that fine print, as you say, before they travel.
Richard, I know that a lot of people may just book their trips on their own via the Air Canada website or some of these travel websites without using an agent. So are you basically saying if you don't go through with a TICO certified or registered travel agency, you're kind of screwed when it comes to, i.e., lost luggage, flight delays, cancellations, all these headaches that we're seeing? Is that basically the message?
Jen, we have a saying around TICO: if you book alone, you're on your own. And I always ask travelers, why would you forfeit your consumer protection and not have the peace of mind and security that if something does go wrong, you can talk to a travel professional to help you through that chaos? And worse, if you're stuck in destination, in some foreign destination, and something's gone wrong in destination, who better to call than your travel agent to help you through those challenges?
But Richard, is using a travel agent more expensive very quickly?
No, I think there's a fallacy there. Travel agents can find you good value and good deals, and worse, if the package looks so low and too good to be true, it's likely there's something in there that's not right. So again, I think I believe that travel agents bring excellent value, to the traveler at the end of the day.
Okay, excellent advice. Richard Smart, President and CEO of the Tourism Industry Council of Ontario. Appreciate your tips. Thank you.
Thanks, Richard.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Nick.